This is Meraj. Meraj is a rider. Meraj loves golf but didn't turn pro. A good thing, because he would have probably starved. He loves motorcycling, can strum and sing a bit, and is committed to nothing except a life on the road.
This is Johan. Johan is a photographer. Johan is more Indian than I am, but carries a Swedish passport. Johan has lived around the world and bankrolled his travel with some pretty interesting gigs. He's picked apples, been a bartender, worked on an oil rig, before finally discovering the camera.
Last year, we teamed up to travel for a year in India and chronicle our experiences. It's been quite a trek, a hell of a ride, a drive like no other, a flight to new horizons, and a voyage that we hope won't end anytime soon.
Old cities like Kathmandu are impossible to describe in a nutshell. Rife with contradictions, inhabited by a diverse populace and segmented into distinct neighborhoods that appear to share little with each other, Kathmandu is a potpourri of chaos and order, of piety and excess, of UNESCO World Heritage Sites and wild all-night party places. But just in case you want a change of scene, then pretty Pokhara, a couple of hours drive to the north, is a laid-back hippie hub with a lovely lake. Lining the lake is a strip with more restaurants and watering holes than you'd care to discover. There really is no better introduction to Nepal than a couple of weeks in Kathmandu and Pokhara. Alternatively, you can bite off more than you can chew and ride cross-country for a fortnight to Mustang Valley. Whoa, that was a close call. I got it. Come on, man! Not again! I can't remember the last time I took 2 spills from a motorcycle in such quick succession. What am I doing here? I could be sitting and sipping sundowners on a beach somewhere. Anyway, this is no place to be daydreaming while riding a motorcycle. Focus on the road, Meraj. Come on! Is that all you've got?
We are in trouble.
Oh man, I give up. Wow, will you look at that? I love this place, man.
I'm just glad Meraj managed to restart his motorcycle. You really don't want to get stranded here. Mustang Valley. I've been here before. This gorgeous but frigid part of the world that extends all the way from northern Nepal to the Tibetan Plateau. In 2013, my friend Dave Shrem and I rode up here and went all the way to Muktinath in Lower Mustang. We had no support vehicles and were riding our old, battered Enfield 350s that weren't exactly ideal for the terrain. This time, we're part of a proper expedition. How do you prepare for a motorcycle expedition to one of the remotest places on the planet? Step 1. Have a night out 2 days before your ride begins.
Well, folks here were telling us that after you're done with rock in Kathmandu, you should head to the lounge and discotheque Ibiza, which is open until 6 a.m. We are going to be sensible.
Can you believe it?
I can't. We have a 6 o'clock morning. We're heading out to Pokhara.
Yep.
We will.
That is where the adventure really begins.
Step 2. Try and avoid riding until you have to.
you guys will get your bikes in Pokhara. So we have a vehicle to take you from here to Pokhara.
Step 3. Have a night out the day before your departure.
Johan, there's an ATM here.
Step 4. Get some cash. Step 5. Get some air.
The bike's ready, huh?
Oh no, man.
Get some gas.
Today is relatively easy, right? 130 kilometers to Kalapani, mostly tarmac.
And you're on your way.
Day 1. Ride to Mustang. Nepal seems just like Uttarakhand, but just with bad roads, like really bad roads. Thank God for the Himalayan, man. Otherwise, it's a bone-crushing ride.
Wow, man.
Absolutely nuts, huh?
I can't believe there's so much dirt. Like, there's so many landslides.
Well, it looks like they're making the road, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
And they loose rocks everywhere, huh?
Those two big ones on the
Do you
way
see that?
to Dodgy, huh?
Can you imagine those coming down?
Can you imagine seeing that like right in front of you when you're driving? Like, would you stop or speed up?
I have no idea. All right, where are we? Where is Johan? Oh, wait. What's happening?
A proper plan.
Oh, do we?
Spread it out. We rode up this route here. Vikur Pokhara, Kamde, Naipul, down to Kusma, Baglung, Beni, which they said is the last petrol pump, but there are going to be more.
He also said you'll get gas at shops.
Right. This is our current location, a little small chai stall. And
We are
going
staying at
up to-
Tatopani.
No, that's actually hot springs. We'll hit that up on the way down.
Oh.
And here we're gonna keep going to
How far do we have to go, dude?
Where is
Kalopani, there it is.
here. Kalapani. That's our stay for the night.
We pull over next to one of those narrow suspension bridges that span across the river that we've been riding alongside. They look sturdy enough. Considering the terrain we've been riding in, walking across one of these is the safest thing I've done on this trip.
Wow.
Wow.
You know in Himachal, they have those, like almost like those baskets that people sit on.
Yeah.
Isn't there?
Going
Like
across
with the police-
one wire.
With a police system.
Oh.
Want to chill here for a bit?
Yeah.
What a neat spot this is. There's a little waterfall and great views of the river and the valley. Meraj doesn't look like he's in a hurry to go anywhere. Jeez. He's got this tick, sees a green space and starts practicing his golf swing. You can take a man out of the city, but you can't take the city out of a man. You really can't hear much besides the gushing of water and the chirping of birds. Finally, it feels like we've left civilization behind. It's time to head out though. We've got a long way to go. Waiting out the rain. It's a funny place to stop, huh?
Well,
Between a rock and a hard place.
Looks like we're stuck. There's a landslide ahead and we'll have to wait. This town is called Tatupani and is well known for its hot springs. Maybe we will have time for a dip on our way back.
It's raining hard. The drops are like those big drops. They're coming down with the vengeance. Oop. Speak of the devil. That's where we're staying tonight, and I don't know if we can make it over there. But behind us on this side, if we're lucky, we'll get a bit of a clearing coming in and we can keep pushing on. We only have 20 kilometers to go.
Oh man, as if riding in this slush wasn't bad enough, now we've got to go through some narrow village path to circumvent this landslide. I don't believe it. Do they actually expect us to take the bikes up those steps? I love adventure, but that does not seem like a fun prospect at all. This is why Santosh was insisting that we do not ride by ourselves. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Nepal Jugad. Now we're going for bike number 2. Got one up, one to go. Getting help from the local residents. This is a real adventure. Wow, I killed it, Meraj! Yeah!
और यार भी मुश्किल हो जाएगा।
ये उतना मुश्किल नहीं था, वो बहुत मुश्किल था। वो बहुत मुश्किल था। ये तो तभी हो जाएगा।
Wow. Thank you.
All right. Well,
Want to move that second one? Second one, like a little bit to the right. The second one. Or to the right. No, it's fine. It was a nice line. Just leave them where they were. There was a nice line, like straight for me only. It's fine. Woo-hoo! Thanks, guys. Namaskar ji.
oh man, the only thing worse than going up a slippery slope is going down. And
Yeah, but there's rocks in the way. You just pick a straight line, huh? You'll be fine.
like I did last time. That was pretty impressive, huh? When I came
Yeah,
up.
you killed it. Let's see him do it again.
No, this is downhill.
Any advice? No.
No. I think I should be able to get this one. Okay.
Whoa.
Your hands are ridiculous there. It's too deep on this one. Can you move the stone a bit? Thank you.
Killed it!
The Himalayan is proud of us. It's like a horse. It knows if you can ride it or not. And this has been a true test.
Meraj was quite careful there, a bit too careful if you ask me.
Okay,
I'm going
go.
to gather my nerve and just go for it.
I'll move those in.
Woohoo! Now that, people, was pure gold. You should have seen Meraj's face.
Dude, that was very cool. But I mean, it was cool because you didn't break anything, man.
No one can accuse me of being prudent. But that stunt that Johan just pulled, I'm not sure I'd try that. In any case, he's pulled it off, so it's all good. Now we've just got to make a dash for Kalopani. I don't fancy riding in the dark on these roads.
I'm not religious, but I'm going to say a prayer tonight. Just our first day on the road, and we've already had some close calls. We're going to need all the luck we can get on this ride.
Blanketed by a sea of stars, the Tukche and Dholagiri peaks keeping guard to the northwest, and the entire Annapurna massif manning the eastern flank. To say that break of day in Kalopani was spectacular doesn't even begin to cut it. The support staff is giving the motorcycles some much needed attention. The gang is all set, and today I think we'll just stick with the group. First stop, go down to the Kali Gandaki River Gorge to look for fossils.
Done this before, Johan?
Yeah.
I'm not sure these bridges were meant to take the weight of a motorcycle, but lots of people have gone through. Should be okay, I suppose. Just got to make sure I keep it in the middle.
No steps, bro.
It's hard to imagine now, but once upon a time, almost 200 million years back, before the Himalayas were formed, this entire region lay on the bed of the Tethys Sea. Even now, it's not too hard to find shaligrams, which are basically ammonized fossils near the riverbed. When you crack it open, it usually has these... See, somebody's already done this, I didn't do it. But it comes apart very easily, and you can see like shells of crustaceans in there. But you can't see anything in here. So it's a bit of a... Well, you know, this is a bit of a bummer really. I mean, if we are to shoot this, then ideally we should end with a fossil.
Right.
Kind of an anticlimax to sort of end with nothing, you know.
There's this great thing you can find.
Yeah,
And
great
we
thing you can
didn't
find.
it.
They're everywhere! But we just didn't find one. Heck, I'm gonna be 40, I'm a fossil. From here, we're going to wind our way up along the river gorge all the way to Kagbeni. This river is literally the lifeline of Mustang Valley. It begins its life at a glacier in the Tibetan Plateau, not far from where we are headed. I didn't know this, but the Gandaki flows into India in Bihar and finally joins up with the Ganga near Patna. What an epic journey that is. Standing around the side of the road, I was just looking at pebbles on the ground waiting for Johan, and you will not believe what I found. That's it, right?
Yeah, that's it. Perfect.
That's it, man.
Got
I'm
it.
a genuine find.
Oh yeah, a real find.
Real find.
Figure out if you need to buy some clothes.
And then go to Kagbeni.
Yeah, and we'll spend the night here. But we'll figure out when we get there. I don't know how good that road is. It's a very small road.
We follow the river and eventually Kagbeni appears in dramatic fashion. I'm going to head to the hotel, but Johan wants to take a ride down memory lane.
6 years, that's how long it's been since I was here last. Since that lovely day in 2013 that my friend David Shrem and I went up this road from Kagbeni to Muktanat. Here I am, again, on a motorcycle, but alone this time. Meraj wanted to come, but I made up an excuse to ride alone. I don't want to ride here with anyone else again. Dave and I met in 2012 in Europe at a music festival in Eastern Europe. Dave had been traveling for over a decade at that point and loved photography as much as I do. Next year, I called him to the Kumbh Mela. On the way, he bought a new camera, got a new smartphone, and was all set for another adventure. Within his first week in Kolkata, he had lost his smartphone, and then he accidentally dropped the camera into the holy waters of the Ganga. Not exactly the sort of purification he was looking for. We bought 2 Enfields and set off for the Himalayas. We rode through Bihar, Sikkim, and finally entered Nepal. And got all the way to Muktanat, which is as far as foreigners can go in Mustang without an expensive permit. We stayed at this small hotel in Muktanat. I'm going to see if it's still around and say hello to the people who run it. This is the place, huh? So I came here with David Shrem in 2013. We stayed at this place, and whenever we would roll into a place, he would insist on us staying with nice people. He would have a special way of judging if they were nice people based on the vibe he got from the people. And this place is called Hotel Nirvana. And you can just see what a scenic spot it's sitting at with these mountains in the background. They don't know this, but since we were here that time, Dave got hit in a motorcycle accident in a mountainous area of Kyrgyzstan and was airlifted to a hospital in Bishkek where he passed away a week later. One of the things Dave used to do when he was traveling was to put up yellow elephants his friend had printed in California. The purpose of that was to spread love around the world. I have brought an extra elephant he gave me, and I plan to put one up here at Hotel Nirvana in memory of David Shrem, at one of his favorite spots in the world. After a week of slipping through slush, getting bogged down in sand, sliding on unpaved tracks over Himalayan passes, Meraj and I follow the Kaligandaki River in Mustang to finally reach the fabled city of Lo Manthang. Next week on Wion Traveler.